Okay, hi guys. Before we get started, let me go ahead and just warn you that this video will probably contain some graphic description of eyeballs. So if you're not into that, you should stop this right now. Hello, it's Anne. It's been over 6 months, not quite 7, since my PRK surgery. And what's going on with me, you might ask? Well, okay, let's just address this half a bra I have on my eye right now. I woke up this morning, and as sometimes happens, you have that dry feeling, and it's irritating, but you still open your eyes anyway because you're getting up. And I guess in doing so, I gave myself a corneal abrasion. And I think I've been doing this. You can give yourself little ones, and this is something that happens as a side effect of dry eye, which I have. But I guess it was just to such a degree this morning that I really scratched it. And I was in a lot of pain. Sometimes I notice it happens and it goes away and I sort of wait it out and it's fine. Put some drops on it, put some gel on it or whatever. And in just a few minutes you're all right, you're ready to go. This is not happening. I was just tearing up and in pain, sharp pain. And I had to go to work, and I was like, can I go to work like this? I can't, I couldn't see because I was tearing, but also I guess the scratch is right on my eye, so it was making my eye blurry, in addition to the pain. So I didn't have an appointment. I didn't even call. I drove over to my doctor's office before they were open, and got in there as they were opening and said, I usually see this doctor, but I want to see somebody as soon as possible. So they did see me and confirmed that it's a scratch or a corneal abrasion. They numbed me up, which was the most blessed thing that happened this morning because that instantly took away the pain. And I allowed them to open up my eye because it was closed and tearing. It was so uncomfortable. Anyway, so the doctor gave me a temporary contact lens, remember those from the surgery, just on this eye, gave me some antibiotic eye drops that I will take every couple of hours, do that for another couple days, and I have an appointment to see him in 2 more days. And this concave eye patch I got on my own because I'm just in case I was going to go out, I didn't want people to have to look at me and be like, how's it going there? Because it's definitely more comfortable for me to keep my eye closed. This morning, it hurt to just move my eyes, to look a different way. So I was really doing the head turn thing to try to look at things, which I drove myself to the doctor's office, totally impaired, was aware of this, felt bad doing so, because you shouldn't be driving when you're all messed up. But I almost thought about putting my blinkers on the whole way to be like, watch out for me. Depth perception affected, in pain, whatever. But I made it, and I made it home. And as I went to go to the pharmacy to go pick up my meds, and I was like, I gotta get this eye patch. I was thinking about people with eye patches, and I was thinking about Snake Plissken. What is it? Escape from LA? I don't know if there's multiple movies, but I was I knew that I only had 15 to 30 minutes before the numbing drops wore off. I was escape from the doctor's office. Must do all these chores before the pain sets in and I turn into a monster and must get home to my safety zone. Anyway, I made it. Okay. So you made it with me this far. I guess, I've been saving up stories for you. Because at 6 months, I was like, oh, things are going pretty well. I can't wait to, give my update. And then it just, didn't happen. So 6 months was around Easter. And I have to tell you, the dry eye has kind of been, up and down. It's actually not been that great. And last time I talked to you, I did have punctal plugs in the lower lids. But it was still dry, super dry. So they put plugs in the uppers and the lowers. And the lowers kept falling out. So then I was sealed up, plugs all over, so much so that I was just crying all the time, and I was it was really bothersome. And if you go online, you can read different posts about people who were complaining about this and that, and I was having some of those same issues. is having a constant stream of tears better than having the dryness and then just having to substitute with the artificial tears? I don't know. I haven't worn eye makeup in months because what's the point? It just gets washed off. Another problem about some of this, I think, is like, I feel like I'm touching my eye more. Like I'm like, you know, taking the tears away. So I feel like that can't be good, but whatever. So a couple weeks ago, around Easter, I was all plugged up. And then I will have to tell you that I had a night where it was kind of warm and I was in a place that had ceiling fans. And I had literally 2 eye masks, cotton eye masks on. But because I sleep with my eyes slightly open, I woke up and that morning I definitely had like a version of this, but not as bad as this. And it was like double ripper, open your eyes, holy smokes, pain. And that kind of like lasted half a day. But I didn't drive that day, but I remember I like did stuff. I went to the skate park and stuff and was in a car and got home, made it. Didn't feel like I had to go to the doctor. I was kind of waiting it out. And the next day was all right. And then I was like, all right. So I knew that could happen, but I didn't realize that would still happen with like all my tear ducts still plugged up and like your natural tears supposed to be retained in your eye. But I guess during the night, you're not blinking. Your eyes are open. My eyes are open. It's just bad news all around. And then shortly after that, here's another thing. I did try to take one of the plugs out. Again, not successful. I was going to show you. Actually, one of the plugs fell out and I could, I saw it and it doesn't look like, the temporary ones that I just made out of cornstarch just look like a line. They look like a little piece of rice, but even smaller than that. The silicone ones look like an arrow with a top on it, if that makes any sense at all. I was going to draw it for you. But you can look it online and see what it is. Arrow. So it's got... it's like plugged in. And so I was like just trying to like lift it out, and I guess it's like kind of suctioned in there. So I had no success in taking the eye plug out. But that's fine. I rubbed it out. I managed to rub one out on my own. Anyway, so one fell out. And then I was like 3. This one still had 2. This one had the lower. And I was fine with that because the upper one was really bothering me. Again, you do actually get used to it after a while, but it took like over a week for me to get used to it. And then if you look into the corners of your eye, you can feel it, and that's irritating. So confirmation on all that still, because that was going on from before. But imagine that double. Okay, so then I was feeling pretty good. The one at the top came out. I still had the doubles in here. And then the lower one fell out, so I had nothing. I've had nothing in this eye for a week since like the end of last month. So, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait it out. All this advice that I tell you guys not to do, I was doing. I was like, you don't have to be, just go to the doctor. You don't need to be the tough guy. And I was like, I'm just gonna wait and see. I've got an appointment in a month and a half. I'll be fine. And then this happens. So, and then I asked my doctor, should I have done that? And he said, well, you can just artificial tears, like just lubricate, keep it like soaking wet. And you probably would have been all right if you had an appointment. But if it is so bad that they can replace the plug. So I got I know this one. I'm sorry, you guys. This video is really rambling. My eye's bothering me today, obviously. I got the temporary contact lens, which you shouldn't be able to see. It's like a contact lens. It's like a daily or like an overnight contact lens with no prescription in it. So I can't feel it, thank goodness. But it is what was happening was like, you have this scratch or like almost like a flap. And then every time you blink, you're like pulling it up, pushing it down, pulling it up. And that's what it felt like. So having my eyes closed was the most comfortable I felt this morning. I just was sitting I'm that weirdo sitting in the doctor's office with the sunglasses on, like, trying to like not really sleep and be aware for when my name is called for the doctor. Oh, and then I got the lower plug replaced. So now I'm back to 3. Doot, doot, doot. And I have another appointment on Thursday, so we'll see if this gets healed up. And I'll be beautiful again. Okay, so here's some gross stories. Not related to me, thank God. It was brought to my attention that a friend of ours had LASIK, actually. Still a laser eye surgery, but it wasn't PRK. It was LASIK, I believe in both eyes, and she got the mono done. Like, I guess she got one for distance and one for close vision. Not that that's relevant. But, and she has had touch-ups since she had the original surgery, which was decades ago. I get the impression that the initial surgery was long ago. And she was blow drying her hair. And what happened? She felt a pain, and she thought that she might have like flipped when you get LASIK, you get like an incision that gets pulled up, and then they do the laser, and then they push it back down. And you always have that, I guess, vulnerability. And she thought she like flipped it up when she was blowing her hair, and she knew she had to go to the doctor, and they, you know, fixed it, what have you. So she did get it fixed. But what actually happened was a single hair came down and pulled it away. So I guess maybe it was a combination of the hair and the air, and it did lift the flap. And she was in incredible pain. And I told this story to a girlfriend of mine who got her surgery like not too long ago, a year or two ago. And she's like, oh, she must have gotten the touch-up that week, you know, or, you know, very recently. And I had to get confirmation on that. Nope. It was like 10 years ago was the touch-up. So I guess that's still a consideration if for you guys who have the LASIK surgery, just be aware of that. But for those of you with dry eye, and it doesn't matter if it's LASIK or PRK, you could be in the situation that I'm in, which is like chronic dry eye, corneal abrasions. It's only been 6 months. I'm supposed to be healing for a year. We'll see what's gonna happen. I was reading online, some people have like diseases that give them dry eye, and they have other measures. One of them is like cauterizing the plugs closed instead of doing the plug, so that's like, I guess, more of a permanent solution. I am considering that. Just laser these things shut. I have also heard that they can come open again, which is very strange to me, but I mean, maybe if you, maybe you're touching your eyes a lot and things happen and they're always wet so they get open. I don't know. Pardon me, by the way, for my appearance today. My goodness. Oh, and then I guess the other kind of gross thing was about the corneal abrasions, as it was explained to me before I had this, was that sometimes your dry eye can almost create, she wasn't saying like a scratch, but like, you know how you have hangnails on your fingers and then like tiny little thing comes up and it's this little piece of skin that can drive you nuts, and you want to just, I want to peel them away. Apparently you can get those on your eye. Your eye will have like not a growth, but like, I guess, you know, part of the cornea can like lift a little, and that's what's causing the pain or the sensation. And sometimes they're just so fine. She was describing them almost like hair-like, and you just blink them away. And maybe that's like the small case ones. I mean, I don't know how deep this guy is, but it, you know, obviously had to get covered up for me to feel comfortable. So I guess maybe it's a vulnerability to scratch, and there's a potential for it to lift off and be incredibly more uncomfortable as it is. But I'm tearing up just talking about it. Gross! That's my second gross story. I guess this whole thing is kind of just nasty. But you lasted for the 14 minutes that I've been talking, so that's what's new with me. 6-month update. Corneal abrasion, major dry ay. I'll talk to you again after I visit the doc again. Maybe I'll maybe I'll ask questions about the cauterization. See what they say about that. I have no idea, like, if that's recommended in my situation, or if this really is going to be temporary. Because other people are like, "Oh yeah, I remember having dry eyes." Like some sort of like fond memory that they had from long ago. Like, is this going to go away, or is this just going to be like my life now? This is my life now, guys. I'm an old person. Because I know age can affect dry eye. You can just have worse dry eye as you get older. You know, and then here's the question, you know, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't have to wear glasses, don't have to wear contacts, but this is almost as annoying as having a really dry contact in your eye all the time. So I don't know. Do you think it's worth it for you? Are you willing to put up with this? And then when this stuff was happening this morning, I was like, oh man, I signed off on that thing saying like I could go blind from this and I can't sue them because this is totally elective surgery. And what comes of it is going to be, you know, any cards are on the table. Anything can go, anything can happen, but you gotta just be okay with that and deal with it. So here I am today, dealing with it. I had to stay home from work today. It's kind of isn't that weird? People are like, oh yeah, like I want to go to work, but I can't really do much here. It's I'm talking to you, my phone, but I can't like be on the phone or on the computer. I'm gonna try to finish my audiobook today, but then I'm done. I don't have any more. So, all right, I'm all right. 6 months, corneal abrasion. Hopefully, better news next time. Bye.